All right, so first up, we've got a low energy diet. So these are going to typically look like 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day. And in some cases, unfortunately, they can actually be lower. So, you guys might have heard of like 800 calorie diets. They get a really, really good rap for weight loss, but we need to have a look at, the pros and the cons, why these would work, and what are some of the things that are going to work against us when it comes to implementing this as a strategy. So in terms of like potential pros, rapid weight loss, we're like extremely aggressively restricting our calorie intake. So weight loss is going to be a byproduct of that. They're also quite simple. It minimizes the need for cooking with a lot of pre-made products and, a lack of food within the daily intake. So all of this is going to help to, support the goal of weight loss, which, you guys will be working towards if you're using this as a method. But we need to have a look at the cons that would come as a result of that. So for most people, like aggressively restricting calories to that extent is going to be super hard to comply to. It's also going to be a really extreme measure that can be met with, really quick resistance from the body. It can have really severe side effects if it's done for too long. So, we might lose lean body mass, which isn't going to be able to support you guys through your physique goals, maintaining muscle mass. Can also lead to disordered eating behavior if it's done for too long. So in most cases, aggressive dieting is done for a really acute time frame. For a lot of people, doing low energy diets, just sticking to them for far too long, which can lead to disordered eating behavior, really poor relationship with food. And it's just not for everyone. Like, you may not be able to actually comply with this. So this isn't going to be the dieting method that works for you. Then we've got the low carb diet. So typically this is going to be 50 to 150 grams of carbohydrates per day within the calorie budget that you have prescribed for yourself. So the potential pros that we've got is it can encourage a higher protein intake. So like we spoke about with distributing our macronutrients, if we've got a lower carb intake, we're going to be able to distribute more protein within our calorie budget, which is, going to support our physique goals. Could be a potential benefit to resetting insulin sensitivity and enough food variety for you to be compliant. So all these things we can take into account when we have a lower carb diet. In terms of our cons, so we're going to have reduced energy availability, especially for athletes. We spoke about the role of carbohydrates in the diet in terms of supporting performance. You guys have got strength and physique-based goals. That's going to start to influence the way that we train in the gym. And, like we speak about, performance is key. If we're not training hard, it's going to be hard for us to deliver the result that we want. So we want to make sure that, we've got sufficient carbohydrates to be able to support that. And for most people, like, carbs are delicious. Like, people like to eat carbs. We enjoy eating them. They are things that we want to have in the diet. And if, a lower carbohydrate diet doesn't actually work for you and it essentially is really hard for you to stick to, then the diet's not going to work.